know you're gonna run OpenClaw anyway, so you might as well do a couple of things to reduce the risk by using it. First thing is going to be hardware isolation. This is why you hear a lot of people talking about getting its own Mac Mini. While some people think about that for the processing power, it's actually a good idea to have it on a blank machine that has none of your credentials or info on it. Honestly, you don't really even need a Mac Mini. If you have an old laptop, that would suffice as well. The biggest thing is that it doesn't have any credentials, any browser history, any safe passwords. And if for whatever reason you get hacked or compromised, just wipe the whole thing and start over. The next one is going to be account isolation. Make throwaway accounts for everything. I'm talking about a throwaway Gmail specifically for OpenClaw, a throwaway WhatsApp number or Google Voice number, strictly dedicated for that. If you use Telegram, brand new Telegram account, only for that. If you're gonna be doing coding or anything like that, make a completely separate GitHub account so it's not touching any of your existing repos. Never, and I mean never, connect your primary email, your work accounts, your accounts with any financial access, and any accounts with admin privileges, like anywhere. Specifically for API keys, make separate API keys. So if you go to Claude, ChatGPT, etc., make completely separate API keys only solely dedicated for this. Easier to track, makes a lot more sense. Specifically on those APIs, set a spending limit, all right? So it doesn't go overboard. Even better, along with those spending limits, get yourself a prepaid credit card or reloadable card that is literally only going to be used for that. Another good practice is rotate your API keys monthly. So every month, go into these LLMs and rotate the key. Basically, you just create a new one. You're gonna have to go in and change them in your setup, but it is very safe to do that. And then just keep an eye on anything weird happening, any weird spikes, monitor it and take a look at it if you see anything like that. Direct messages, chats, make an allow list. Essentially with WhatsApp, only allow chats from your number. When it comes to groups, none. Keep that empty. 0 groups can talk to your OpenClaw via WhatsApp. If you use Telegram, use an explicit group ID. That way, it also kind of helps mitigate some of that, and make sure that it has the setting require mention set to true. Never ever add OpenClaw to a group chat, because once you do, it's game over. Anybody in that group chat can send commands to it. Use read only when possible. So whenever you're doing, say for example, in Google and you're setting up the OAuth authorizations, the permissions essentially for that, make it as restrictive as possible. Read only setting for as much of it as humanly possible. The agent itself might complain, but that's the point. OpenClaw actually has a built-in security audit tool. Use it. The next one is going to be what models you select. Now, OpenClaw highly recommends using Opus 4.5 because it is the one that is least susceptible to prompt injections. However, it's not foolproof. It is the best out of all of them. Older or smaller models are a lot more susceptible. So if you're using a local LLM like Olama, just be aware that you're gonna trade in privacy for injection resistance. So just keep that in mind. If you use ClawHub, which is basically OpenClaw's skills marketplace, just know there is no moderation there whatsoever. Anyone can go in, upload a skill, and then inflate its download count, and you're gonna see people in like 5 different countries downloading it like crazy. If you cannot read the code to see what it does, don't install it, period. The last one is gonna be the biggest thing. Have an incident response plan. Not if, when. Just make sure you're ready for when it happens. Because there are very creative ways that we may not see yet of people who can probably get into it. So have a response, have a way of shutting it off immediately, have a way to go in and look at the logs to see what it was doing. Close its connection to the network immediately. Like I mentioned earlier, rotate everything in terms of passwords, API keys, just everything. Completely change it up. Remember, even with all of this, you're still accepting some kind of risk, and prompt injection is still a big issue. So you need to keep that in mind when you start messing around with OpenClaw. This plan is more of the ghost containment unit in the basement of the Ghostbusters firehouse. It is just meant to contain the damage, not prevent it. So be safe out there. If you're not sure about something, don't do it. Follow for more insights like this. Joining the newsletter for more in-depth tutorials.